Hey everybody, XCI here, welcome back. I'm about to watch Rick and Morty Season 1, Episode 11 called Ricksy Business, the last episode of Season 1. I'm really looking forward to this episode. I do not know how this is going to top last episode, which I personally felt like watching this blind, no spoilers please. I felt like last episode should have been the season finale. Personal feeling. Before I get into what I think about that title, because that one's a very easy one for me to predict on, speculate on. Risky Business was a movie in the early 80s. I'm an 80s kid. I recall watching that movie when I was too young to be watching R-rated films. I do recall it being R-rated film. It's one of Tom Cruise's earliest movies. Earliest movie. It's when he was just coming to fame. The movie I enjoyed more than Risky Business as a kid who shouldn't have been watching movies like this at his age was a movie called Ferris Bueller's Days Off. So there was comparisons being made with these two movies, if my memory's correct. But I do recall that they both involve parents leaving and then the kids getting up to shenanigans, and it eventually ends, or one of the main plot points is the car gets crashed. So the father's special car gets crashed in both movies. I'm fairly certain. Just seeing the 0th second still of this cartoon, it does look like Beth and Jerry are probably leaving, and that's speculating based on the thumbnail I see, but I'm not entirely sure what car someone can crash, if this is actually a reference to Risky Business. But Rick has that flying saucer thing in the garage, so my speculation is that that's gonna get crashed. Something's crashing this episode otherwise, and there's gonna be shenanigan hijinks because the parents are gone.
Titanic-themed getaway.
Let's lose the dude, please. It's supposed to be romantic.
That's why he's dressed like that. I was thinking about that the whole time.
I'm drawing a line, okay? Any damage to this house or these children when we
right
get
in the
back,
opening.
No more adventures with Morty.
Everything's gonna be fine. And if not, like you say, no more adventures.
Shenanigans.
It's like that old song.
Shall be afoot. Okay then. Well, okay then. Well, I guess.
Well, we're past the point of no return. I'm going to have a party.
There it is. There it is.
Rick, tell Summer she can't have a party. Summer, you can't have a party. Because I'm having a party, bitch! Oh, what, Rick? You can't!
What do you mean you're having a party? Are some glib-globs from the third dimension going to come over and play cards or something?
Glib-glop? You're lucky a Trafalorkian doesn't hear you say that.
Is that like their N-word?
It's like the N-word and the C-word had a baby and it was raised by all the bad words for Jews.
Listen, I think the three of us...
So it is clear that the family does know they go on these adventures across dimensions. Yeah, I thought that
Titanic 2
part of that was
to the rail system near our replica
not really
iceberg,
acknowledged by the rest of the
encased in
family.
these tubes will execute a controlled sink into the icy depths.
It's only Beth is not playing the part, huh?
Archaic. I can assure you the ship will sink as it has 1,000 times before. It is unsinkable.
It's not the king of the world bit. That's Jack and Fabrizio. This is where Rose says, "I'm flying, Jack." But whatever. I can be the only one to do it alone.
Well, what about her? Excuse me, ma'am. Would you like to take my place in line?
I could get into trouble.
We won't tell.
Panic fanatic.
Oh, yes.
It's gonna go right.
I've worked here since
It's gonna go splendid.
But I've never been able to participate.
Happy to help. Rose.
I have a feeling that's gonna escalate in strange ways. Like Beth's gonna regret that.
Brad is here. Quick,
For sure.
I look drunk.
Check it out. Tammy's already drunk. Cool.
The beacon was activated. Who is in danger?
Grandpa!
Bird person!
I am pleased there is no emergency.
Oh, there's an emergency,
Oh,
all
really?
right. Emergency? When's the last time you got laid, Purrs?
It has been a challenging mating season for bird person.
Then it's time to get your beak wet tonight, playa. Go have some fun out there, bird person.
Oh,
It's cosplay, right? That's not an actual race.
People?
Oh.
6?
Well, then again, he is inviting
Yo,
aliens.
what up, my glip-glops? Oh,
Well, dimensional beings. Oh my god. oh, he's got some Ricks from the other. Oh, everyone's cool with this? Is this a dream or something, man?
Oh, God. Oh, that's disgusting. You guys are in my parents' bed.
No.
Sorry.
Oh.
I'm not feeling too well. I just needed to lie down for a bit.
Oh,
What?
okay. Sorry. Oh my God, are you kidding me?
The thing people don't realize
Is that a reference
about
to
the
He-Man?
Gear Wars is that it was never
forget the
really
character's name,
about
but I love the toy. I
gears
have the
at
toy.
all.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
totally.
Rick, you gotta stop.
Morty, have you met Gearhead?
Hey.
That's totally the toy. That's totally the toy, because you can like spin gears And then all the gears inside would change.
Oh, heck, squanchy party, bro.
Oh, Squanchy!
Is there a good place for me to squanch around here?
Squanchy, you can squanch
like-
wherever you want, man.
Is that a Snarf reference?
All
Thundercats?
right, I like your squanch.
And
Part
then
of me
worry
feels
about
like
all
this isn't
later.
real.
Yeah, that's easy for you to say, Rick. You know, you like not caring about stuff. You know, what's in this for me?
Oh yeah.
Knock it off, Slow Mobius.
Sorry, dude. I'm just trying to show off my powers, bro.
Oh god.
I can't believe she's
I love
here.
it.
What are you doing?
Oh my god.
Every couple gets to recreate Jack's drowning at the end of the movie. It's so romantic. With all due respect, it seems like your wife may not be that interested.
I was interested about.
Iceberg, right ahead.
I want to know what happens with this plot, man, with the Jerry Beth relationship.
Sir, there's not a problem. This ship is about to completely miss the giant iceberg.
Well, do something. Steer into it.
I'm trying. It's too late.
Oh my god.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't brace
This
yourselves.
is so absurd. I mean, I guess I'm real, but what?
I like your feathers.
They are
This is so
designed
messed
to attract the attention of the female.
I'm not looking to get into a soul bond. I'm just looking for...
I believe Bird Person can arrange that.
Hey, Summer. Haven't seen you at flute practice in a while.
Summer. Don't tell me you're friends with her.
Are you kidding me? I
that a
don't
band
even know
camp
what she's
reference?
doing here.
Whoa, not cool, Summer. This is a party. Everybody should be welcome. Great. Who invited Aberdoff Lincoln?
I thought everyone was welcome.
It's a misguided effort of mine to create a morally neutral
No.
super leader by combining the DNA of Adolf Hitler and
No.
Abraham Lincoln.
You brought me into this world, a suffering abomination, tortured by the duality of its being. But I shall finally know peace when I watch the life drain from your wretched body!
Whoa, what's up, man?
I have no quarrel with you, boy.
Boy, what's that supposed to mean?
Does he get angry and then passive? Angry and then passive?
thought I meant it. I'm half Abraham Lincoln, so...
So, I should get on my knees and kiss your ass.
No, but... you know...
What do I know? That the Third Reich will reign for 1,000 years?
Leave him alone, Brad.
Stay out of this, Jessica!
Kick his ass, Brad! Kick his ass!
Oh my god.
Kick his ass! Kick
Oh!
his ass! Kick his ass! Kick his ass! Rick has some really strange
Why would
friends.
Rick do,
Brad is
do
such
that?
a jerk. I just want to find somebody nice and sweet.
Jessica, can I show you something?
The
Check this
shenanigans?
It's beautiful.
This
You
is
know,
it. This is where
Jessica,
something's gonna go wrong,
there's
yeah?
something I've always wanted to tell you.
What's that, Morty?
I think that you're the most...
No, that. Those weird sounds coming from the closet over there.
Oh my god!
I'm squanching in here.
Oh my god, he's got a choker on. Oh my god.
Oh crap!
There it is. No problem.
Oxygen-rich atmosphere, giant testicle monsters. We'll be fine. Let's
That's
party!
just staple Rick and Morty dimensions. Monsters gotta have. Aren't those stare? That was in the one episode. The stare goblins. Stare goblins, right?
If it weren't for the fact that everyone's still having a blast in there, I would be so
I love that they
furious
made
with
a
you right
reference to
now.
Oh man, you hear that,
Testicle
Morty? You
designs.
really lucked out with
All
Summer
over
on
this
that
show.
one. How are you guys not freaking out right now?
Plants,
The whole
aliens.
house is sitting in another dimension. Relax. It's gonna be fine. All we have to do is go out and find us some Calaxian crystals. Oh shit, mother... Calaxian crystals, Morty. Just a few miles south of here.
Ah.
Morty, I
Morty's
can't go
pushing for
with
the
you.
adventure,
I
huh?
gotta hang back and make sure everything
Summer and
stays
Morty?
cool here. Oh, hey, Morty, this is perfect.
No.
You can take Linkler with you.
Yeah, and Nancy, you should go too.
What? Why me?
Because,
no.
you're so good at playing the flute.
No.
Great. Not only is the ship not sinking, but now the fourth wall's been broken.
I am gonna go back to the room to finish my book. You should find that Lucy woman.
But...
You see, Jerry? May I show you something?
Uh-oh.
Had everything gone as planned,
Uh-oh.
this entire area would be underwater.
Oh.
Draw me, Jerry.
Oh, boy. Lucy, wow. This isn't what I had in mind.
But it's the perfect moment. We've been dreaming about this for 16 years.
Well, not like this. Not Not with you.
You're gonna
Oh
draw
my.
me. Then
Oh my.
you're going up me in that car over there.
It's weird, because I definitely think something's not right. Get the crystals! I'll handle the beast! Prepared to be emancipated from your own inferior genes.
Linkler, come on! Let's get out of here!
My journey is over, Morty. I have something important to tell you.
And the gears they turned for 1,000 years.
Wait! There's something you need to know! I couldn't have done it without Linkler. He said that he was really sorry and that he loves you like a father. He only wanted you to accept him and he hopes that his final act would redeem him in your eyes. He sacrificed himself to save all of us, Rick. He died. Well, at least he didn't die in vain. He got these crystals. And these babies just saved this lame-ass party! Wubba-dubba-dub-dub! Play something. Somebody play something. Wait a minute, what? You put your right foot forward and your left foot back and slide around like on a Nordic track. It's the Rick dance.
I want to know if real people have choreographed this. You gotta have this, the dance scene in these kinds of movies.
What the hell was that? I thought those crystals were supposed to help us get home or something. What?
That
No,
white-headed
I can get
dude
us
is
home
from
whenever I
something
want
too.
to. But let's take us home now. All right, fine, Morty. You party pooper, buzzkill.
Can't exactly say everyone get out.
You suck, whatever your name is.
Fairly certain that's a Kermit
These
reference.
gears just
Yeah.
started turning.
Almost finished, Jerry.
Almost.
Move! Every weekend, Jackson Roses have their Titanic experience in this car, and I have to mop it up. We're going to get it nice and steamy in there. And I'm going to slam my hand on the steam and leave a nice handprint. And then you're going to love inside of me. No mess. No clean.
Beth!
Bet you're glad I think Kindles are dumb now. I didn't peg Lucy for a rapist.
What does a rapist look like exactly, Beth? Is it a Slavic man wearing a denim jacket with a patchy beard and the scent of cheap champagne wafting over his blister-pocked lips?
What? Well, at least you got all this free stuff. Should
I don't
be
even
enough
want
to
to.
satisfy your Titanic Jones for a while.
I'm not gonna think about.
I'm not going to fit.
One too much.
Beth, listen to me. You're going to get out of here. You're gonna go on and...
Jerry, just leave the door.
It's not a door, Beth. It's debris.
I don't care. Just leave it.
Yeah. Okay.
Jerry.
Cape Fear! Cape Fear! I'm going to do like from Cape Fear.
Oh! Oh God.
Hey, Squatch!
Cool, I'm coming too.
No, you're not squanchy enough for a squanchy party.
What?
Nancy told us what a bitch you are.
Guys, you're a bad person. All you care about is having popular people like you. That's not what Aberdolf Linkler stood for. Well, it was hard to pin down what he stood for, but it's certainly not what he died for.
Next time I party,
I assist you with that.
Sure, yeah. Thanks.
Morty, do you know what wubba lubba dub dub means?
That's just Rick's stupid nonsense catchphrase.
It's not nonsense at all. In my people's tongue, it means, I am in great pain. Please help me.
Well, I got news for you. He's saying it ironically.
No, Morty. Your grandfather is indeed in very deep pain. That is why he must numb himself.
Come on. He's just a huge asshole.
Then why do you care so much if you are no longer allowed to continue on your adventures together?
But you're right. I shouldn't even care. This is probably the best thing that could have happened to me.
Guys, Mom and Dad are like right around the corner.
This is your moment, Morty. Choose wisely. Tammy!
God damn.
Wait, what? Stop. Rick, you gotta do something quick. My parents are home. All right. Hold on.
Interesting.
Walking up the driveway. Bring me the thing. What thing?
In this?
Summer for the win. All right, that should do it.
Whoa.
Yeah, everything's frozen in time. Yeah. For how long? I don't know. How long do you guys want? A week? A month?
Can we start cleaning the house and see how we feel?
You gotta have the cleanup montage. That's a trope. You have to. Oh no. So the whole world, I guess, would have to, because you can't just stop part of the world. You got
worst movie ever.
Oh boy, what a waste of time. Get it? You know, because it's frozen. Rick,
wait, how could they play a movie if
I haven't
time
once
is
heard
frozen,
you say
though?
that wubble
Doesn't
of a
matter.
dub-dub thing that you usually say?
Don't need to. I have a new catchphrase.
Oh yeah? What's that, Rick?
I love my grandkids.
Oh.
Aww.
Psych, just kidding. My new catchphrase is, I don't give a
Just
shake that ass, bitch, and let me see what you got. Just shake that ass, bitch, and let me see what you got. Roll credits. Just shake that ass. Roll the credits. Go. Just shake that ass. That's the end of season 1. That's the end, motherfucker.
Totally breaking the fourth wall. So, all right. Well, we still have a post credit. We still have a post credit roll.
What?
Hey, bro!
I don't understand.
What is
Are
happening?
you enjoying this? Do you like this?
Yeah, you know it, dog!
Did you get any of that?
It's a good show!
And with that, I'm going to wrap up the series. I'm going to share my thoughts on both the single episode and what I thought about it, as well as how it applies to the entire season, because what the bird person says at the end there, it threw me for a loop, because there's enough there that puts moments of the entire season into perspective in regards to the Rick character. I'm not entirely sure what that means or if it's going to hold, and they broke the fourth wall, so I felt like there was a lot of this destabilizing ideas going on with this, what I think is a mediocre episode, to be honest, but it was closure. It was a closure. Trail off into my thoughts about season 1, which will inform what I'm looking forward to in season 2. And so just to get started on this thing, the first thoughts that came to my mind about, like, after episode 11 was, I wish episode 10 was the Close Encounters of the Rick Kind. I wish that was the season finale. The reason for that is because there was so much about the sci-fi foundation of the show inside episode 10 that I felt like it sort of culminated the idea of the grandness of scale that this show was dealing with when it's talking about, like, multiple realities and dimensions and stuff like that. But that said, the episode 11 sort of bundles together the other side of the show, which it didn't dawn on me right after I saw the episode. I'm recording this a couple days after I watched the episode, and so these thoughts have stewed for a while. But the idea that, episode 11 more brings together, it's like, like you had the A story and the B story, but you have the one that usually focuses on Rick and Morty and their interdimensional adventures, and then you have the one that deals with the family and deals with more of the mundane portions of life, and sometimes that kind of muddles up, but in my head that's kind of how I see, like, there's usually the two plots going on. And so I feel like in hindsight, episode 11 is sort of touching on that other aspect of the show, which is, this is also a show about the family dynamics between of this family. It sort of touches on each of the characters' flaws more than anything, to be honest, and it sort of just hit me now, because you have Beth's flaws that have happened throughout the season have been, like, she goes on this thing with her husband, and it's something he really wants, he really enjoys, but she's sort of like, I don't really care, this is stupid, she just brushes him off a lot, and she's not happy in this relationship, like, for the qualities that Jerry has that are sort of flaws, which is this really weird disassociation from his reality. He's just a sad person, like, not like sad like he's depressed, although he probably is, but he's just cringy as a person, and it's something that she distances herself from. And then you have, the grandpa who's like Rick, who just does whatever he wants all the time, and to the point of being borderline abusive, if not crossing the line. But at the same time, he has this side of him that he conceals, and that he does care about his family, but for some reason he buries it in this super depressing, almost escapist retreat behind, I guess, drugs, and like he does crazy things to kind of just bury his emotions, with wubba lubba dub dub being the big line, the big sort of reveal line, I guess, a reveal line, anyways, where it has more meaning than it it presumed to have. In bird person language, it was that he was in pain and it was a cry for help, you know, but of course no one's going to understand this unless you're a bird person, and so no one's coming to help him, and he's not even intentionally asking for the help in any case. And then you have like the Summer angle, which is, you know, I feel like she's been underused in the season, and it was very what's the word for it, egotistical. It was just a weird angle to take with her in the last episode, which was that this is all about just me gaining popularity, I just want people to like me, it's like that trope. And it very much honed in on that trope for her character, which I feel like she has the flexibility to be a broader character in this show, but I feel like so far we've just gotten the high school teenage girl sort of thing, to a certain degree, or in any case that's kind of the flaw of the character. I'm just going to stick to this theme whether it works or not. And then you have Morty, which is, he's been identified as being dumb, dumber, like the wavelengths are dumb so that they can balance out the wavelengths of the smart Rick so that the detection can't happen, etc, etc. And but he has a good heart, and so his flaw though is that he just keeps on going along with what Rick gets him to do, despite him starting to like kick back and show some self-awareness of the fact that he doesn't want to be abused like that anymore. He wants Rick to appreciate him, and he wants Rick to become more self-aware himself and realize what he's doing and the kind of damage he's doing on an emotional level when he does his hijinks, or like not his hijinks, but like he just doesn't care. He's nihilistic, you know. I've literally lost the point of this, so I'm going to move on. So it's the dawning on me of like this being like the B side of the season 1. It's sort of like you get this crazy sci-fi idea of like the Council of Ricks, and how the multi-dimension works and how the multiple Ricks work and all that stuff. You get all of that in the second last episode, and then you get this is about just the more personal behavioral problems of this family unit, of, you know, how those personalities are mixing and how that dynamic works inside the series. And so I felt like from that perspective I was like, oh, it kind of worked, despite me still, you know, thinking maybe they should have swapped, but that might have been dangerous, because then you'd have this really kind of, you'd have almost a lull, and then you'd have this like really huge peak, because I feel like, and I'll get into why I feel like it, like I say something like the big peak of episode 10. Okay, the other thing I want to comment on is the idea that the normalcy of the reality they're in, being okay with, you know, Summer's friends coming to this party, a bunch of teenagers of the real world, and sharing this house space, this party with interdimensional beings, alien beings, supernatural beings, whatever the bird person is. And so, and they were okay with it. And I was like, so in this reality, this is something that's normal? Is there more than Rick on this reality that creates these kinds of happenstances in this reality where people are just okay with this? You have the Meeseeks who do go around, they do shoot up the restaurant. Everyone isn't really freaking out that they're Meeseeks, they're freaking out that there's terrorist Meeseeks. And then you have like the dogs in armor that eventually take over that world, and of course that was just crazy because it was dogs in armor taking over the world, but it wasn't that it was dogs, intelligent dogs in armor. That wasn't what seemed to be weird in that world. Okay, so I thought that was something that was interesting to point on, because it hadn't dawned on me until it really dawned on me, and I feel like that's just the normalcy of the show. This is just something that these worlds are normalized to, and I'm not sure it'll ever get touched on. I'm going to start exploring like the entire season, but kind of like springboarding off of like episode 11. So the idea of like the continuity of consequences being important to the show, I think that's probably the biggest win for me in this show, because the show really could have been this show that sort of just does this throwaway random humor like the Family Guys of the world, you know, where Family Guy, even it has some continuity, but it really doesn't give a shit about any of that. Like, it just, Family Guy does whatever it wants. Like, it'll break its own scenes with random humor. Its episodes are just random humor. Like, I have a hard time looking back at a Family Guy episode and knowing which season the episode happened in, much less what episode it was in that season. You know, like, it all just mashes up together for me as one big joke of absurdity. Whereas this thing is dealing with the absurdity of like sci-fi tropes and taking it to next levels, and then giving it like almost like treating it responsibly, taking it to this next level where it becomes very smart. It's very smart commentary on both sci-fi and the world, to be honest. I'm not even going to go deeply into what I mean by that. There's a certain level of intelligence for this that this show has, that people that are aware of the sci-fi tropes, like deep sci-fi tropes, that are aware of the kind of commentary this dark humor is touching on, that it's not just dark humor for dark humor's sake, which is one level of entertainment. This dark humor, it taps into something that, because it goes just over that line, it can get to the point where someone's like, they won't even watch the show anymore because like that went too far. You know what I mean? They're like, no, I can't. Like that show went too far. And then there's the level, that level of people that watch the show. They're bothered by that dark humor, but then they go, wait a minute, holy crap. And it unlocks other thinking that, touches into issues with contemporary society, for example, issues with sexuality, issues with just a bunch of, just the normalization of damaged society. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to leave it at that. I'm going to roll that into my next comment of, there's a lot of rape and molestation events in this show, and the majority of them are to male characters. They either happen to male characters, they're implied to have happened to male characters, and then there's humor done to them and they're brushed away, and they're uncomfortable because you're like, Jesus, like I have never seen this in media. I've never seen this kind of humor in media. Like I've seen comedy shows and stuff touch on this stuff, but I've never seen it in a cartoon. And so it's jarring. It's just jarring, right? Summer had that instance with the potential gangbang of the Zorp males, but that got ended very quickly, and there really wasn't a joke in that. It was, so from the female perspective, it was very much just like, this could have gone really wrong, and then they just moved on. They moved on. They, you know what I'm saying? Whereas, the Morty scene with the jelly bean in the bathroom, that went on longer than was comfortable. And then there was the reference in episode 11 with Jerry, where he's giving that very detailed rape scenario. I mean, he already kind of got out of a potential rape scenario, but that he then gives this throwaway comment to Beth, and that comment was a little bit too detailed to maybe just be him using his creativity, and then you're like, oh, so Jerry was raped? Is that what was implied right now? So and then you have the kid, which I always forget his name, but the kid in the early on season, in, what was the episode? Jeez, hold on. It was Anatomy Park. It was so whatever his name is, Beth's Summer's boyfriend in that show, where he has that sit down, that emotional sit down scene where he talks about how he was taken to the bush and manhandled, right? And you're like, wow, this is very rapey. So it's a very rapey show. I'm not going to say I hope they do less of it, but I feel like it's too often. The level of the show where it basically takes that kind of joke, male rape, as this common theme throughout the season, it almost starts to desensitize. I'll get the word. The group of people who see it as this uncomfortable dark joke, but because it happens so often, it's becoming funnier because of how dark and awkward it is. But at the same time, it's like, anyways, that's all I'm going to comment on that one. I just feel it's just jarring to me because it's like every male character seems to have been raped. Reference, just to keep it in episode 11, the idea that this party goes to this other dimension and then it leaves the one high dude to basically get alien handled in presumably sexual ways. At least it's implied that it's this drug sex orgy craze between these aliens throwing Abradolf Linkler, left with Abradolf Linkler to basically be stuck in this dimension, and that's a joke. But if you think about it, when you think about continuity, the consequence of continuity, which I love about the show, when you think about that element being relevant to the show, that's something that's in the show because they bring up the bodies in the back. And so there's the kid now that's basically gone missing after this party. after this evening is over, there is one kid who is never going to be found by his parents again. And just thinking about it on that level then takes you into these dark spaces that the show sort of nurtures in you. And it makes the show, it compounds the kind of absurdity, the nihilistic view of this entire show that nothing really matters. And sticking to the party, the 80s reference continues. So I find that there's a lot of these like subtle 80s references throughout the season that for someone who grew up in the 80s, there's an extra layer of enjoyment there, whether it's in the titles that then sort of hint at what the episode's going to be about. The party alone that had a bunch of entities in there that seem to be references to 80s characters. Like I think I saw Kermit in there, and then you had the Gearhead there. When there was, who else did I see in there? I mean, there was the bird person, which was obviously a reference to Batman, and I think it was more not a reference to Batman as it was a reference to the Michael Keaton movie called Birdman, which I haven't watched but I'm aware of. But yeah, I'm sure if I watch that movie now, it might give more meaning to this bird person inside the episode 11. I know I saw the characters that were 80s references. I know it, but I can't, and they're not coming to me right now. In any case, let me try to wrap this up now because this one's going long. But so season based, what were my top 3 episodes? I put some time into this. One came at me. That was, for me, it was a no-brainer for me. It was Rick Potion number 9, because of the it takes the absurdity of the idea of the love potion. It reverses it, as I called out based on the title, because it's just a trope that I find is it's not usually touched upon, which I feel like it should be touched upon more. The idea of the love potion actually being a really horrible thing, is basically a rape drug, or however far you take it. But in any case, so the idea that it takes that absurdity and then it compounds it. Like something goes wrong and then Rick tries to fix it the second time, it goes worse, and then he tries to fix it a third time, and then it Cronenberg's the entire universe, the entire dimension that they're on, to the point where they have to jump dimensions into a very similar reality where Rick and Morty blow themselves up because of the third screw turn that it was it one screw too many? It doesn't matter, but they blow themselves up, and then these 137 Rick and Morty versions slip in and take over their lives, because the life up to that point was almost exactly the same, except for that deviation where the screw turn screws them up, and then they bury them in the back, and then that comes back. And the fact that continuity played out after, was it the Zorp episode? I'm sort of losing track of things, and then it comes back up where Morty is talking to Summer about, Summer doesn't think that she matters and all that stuff, and he basically reveals to her that he's basically an imposter on this world. So I thought that the layers of thought that went into that, the respect to continuity that went into that, for me, had a meaningful impact to how much I enjoy the series and look forward to it. The second episode that comes to mind should be a no-brainer based on my last 2 episodes of commentary. I feel like it's episode 10, Close Encounters of the Rick Kind. I love the idea of the Council of Ricks, which was a Council of Reeds reference in Fantastic Four, run by Hickman. If you haven't read the series, it's an amazing, very, very sci-fi foundation story of Fantastic Four and the Council of Reeds, and they're trying to answer all the problems in the universe, which is solve everything. Something like that. Anyways, the basis of it, the beginning basis of it is crazy, and it kicks off into this massive multiversal, multi-read storyline, which I feel like was very much the influence behind Close Encounters of the Rick Kind. So for me, that one was number 2, and then when I was like number 3, I don't have a number 3. I have to cop out on a top 3 list because I do not have a number 3, and it's not even, I don't say that all the rest of them are equal. I just have a hard time thinking of one of the episodes that had this sort of lasting impression that was different than the rest. When I was thinking about what characters, I'm thinking the Meeseeks episode, Meeseeks and Destroys episode, Raising the Zorp to stand out for me because I like the characters and the implication again of what the Meeseeks mean to the story. Like if the Mises come back, I like the idea of the Mises character. I like the exploration that the idea that living to them was the reverse of like the feeling of someone. So someone worrying about dying is the exact opposite of the Mises. It's like, I love the idea of the philosophical switch there of the Mises, like, no, I gotta live for another hour, you know. So whatever the comment was, I thought that was hilarious. And then the Gazorpazorp idea, the fact that there was this, the fast aging, the fact that Morty had to act like a teenage father. I thought there were some awesome ideas there, and the way it ended was sort of like, it ended with this old Gazorpazorp who somehow wrote a novel within hours of his life, but his life was literally like a day or two, and you just assume he's probably died of old age, because I don't see how that character comes back because of the rapid aging. But in any case, I thought that idea was fun. But then I think the idea behind the dogs growing in and the Inception like story that happened there was also intriguing. And the pilot was okay, but it was very much a pilot, and so they're not all equal. But I don't have a third. I think just generally that my third would be just the idea of the possibility of introducing characters with that explore philosophical ideas taken to the extreme, taken to the max, because that's what this show does. I was thinking of Love Potion number 9. I was thinking of Rick Potion number 9, and I started singing a little bit of Monica in my life, a little bit of Erica by my side. I started doing, and I was like, oh, and then I was like, oh my god, that's like Love Potion number 9. That song's Love Potion number 9. It was from the 90s. But then in searching the song, I realized, no, the song is not called Love Potion number 9. It's called Mambo number 5, released by Lou Bega in 1999. And I was like, why do I feel like Love Potion number 9 is the thing? So of course I Googled Love Potion number 9. By the way, it is a song. It's a song by The Searchers. It was released in 1963. Like, if you like oldies, I don't know if I commented in one episode, but I used to work at a job where like Mondays would be my 50s. Like I would play a 50s channel. Tuesdays I'd play 60s channels. Wednesdays I'd play 70s channels. You get the point. And so I listen to a lot of oldies. So of course I have to look up the song, because I'm like, do I remember the song? Because somehow I remember the title. Was it ever covered before? Of course I'll look it up, and immediately in the first couple lines I'm like, oh, of course I know this song. So it's like, I took my problems down to Madame Ruth. You know, the gypsy with the gold capped tooth? Is that anyways, she's got a pad down on 43rd and Vine. Is it 30 something and Vine? Doesn't matter. Selling little bottles of Love Potion number 9. That song, does anyone know it? I just mangled all that. Anyways, look it up. This episode's gone very long. I've said what I have to say. The season is over. I'm looking forward to season number 2. I have to believe it's going to expand more on the dimensional aspect of things. The comments also seem to suggest that might be the case. Thank you for the community so far. I'm sorry about the jumping around of channels along the way and the restructuring of the format. I do hope that this format works going into the future. It'll be a clean start for season 2. I'll catch you next season. Don't forget to explore, engage, and inspire, everybody. Peace.